Welcome to this tutorial. Today, we're going to talk about the past perfect continuous tense. Let's get started. Now, we use the past perfect continuous when we talk about an action, quite a long one, which began in the past and continued up until another time in the past. Have a look at the example over here. Sammy had been playing with his food when his mom walked into the kitchen. Note that this sentence is in the past perfect continuous tense, and it's used to talk about an action that began in the past and continued up until another time in the past. Now, to form the past perfect continuous tense, we use had plus been plus verb ing. Let's have a look at the examples below. Positive sentence. Tom was very tired when he got home. He had been working all day, or he'd been working all day. Negative sentence. Tom wasn't very tired when he got home. He hadn't been working all day. Question form. Why was Tom tired when he got home? Had he been working all day? Let's have a look at the difference between I have been working versus I had been working. Present form. I hope the bus comes soon. We've been waiting for 30 minutes. Past. At last, the bus came. We'd been waiting for 30 minutes. Present. Lily is out of breath. She has been running. Past form. Lily was out of breath. She had been running. Now we can use the past perfect continuous tense with phrases such as all day, all morning, 4 days, for ages, when, etc. Have a look at the examples below. Samantha went to the doctor last Monday. She hadn't been feeling well for some time. My sister had been playing with her friends outside for an hour when it started to rain heavily. Remember, the non-continuous verbs such as to love, hate, know, want, etc. are not used in any continuous tenses. Make sure to use the past perfect instead. Have a look at the examples over here. We were good friends. We had been knowing each other for years. Now this sentence would be incorrect because the verb know cannot be used in any continuous tenses. The correct form would be we were good friends. We had known each other for years. Now let's review and practice a bit. Remember that we used had plus been plus verb ing to make sentences in the past perfect continuous. Now read the following sentence and provide the past perfect continuous form of the verb in the bracket and make sure to use contracted forms. When the boys entered the room, it was clear that they to fight. When the boys entered the room, it was clear that they'd been fighting. Also remember to form questions by inverting the subject and had, and form negatives by using not. Now read the following sentence and provide the past perfect continuous form of the verbs in the bracket. And again, make sure to use contracted forms. Fred looked tired. He to work on his project the whole night. He not to work on it the whole night. He to party instead. Fred looked tired. Had he been working on his project the whole night? He hadn't been working on it the whole night. He'd been partying instead. Note the difference between the present perfect continuous and the past perfect continuous. Now this sentence is in the present perfect continuous. Nancy is exhausted. She has been running errands. Now provide the past perfect continuous of the sentence. Nancy was exhausted. She had been running errands. Also remember that we use time markers to emphasize the duration of the action. Now read the sentence below and provide the past perfect continuous form of the words in the bracket. I stayed at my friend's place in Paris. He not to live there very long, but he knew the city very well. I stayed at my friend's place in Paris. He hadn't been living there very long, but he knew the city very well. Also note that non-continuous verbs are not used in continuous tenses. Now provide the correct form of the following sentence. Their issues weren't resolved. They had been hating each other since they were kids. They had hated each other since they were kids. Here's a short story using the past perfect continuous tense. Listen as I read so you can see how they are used in real-life conversation. After I'm done, make sure you understand all the grammar and read aloud yourself so that you can work on your own fluency and pronunciation. It seemed to me that your brother was depressed a year ago. Yeah, he'd been feeling down since he lost his job. Could you just imagine that? He got a perfect job at one startup company, the launch was going smoothly, and then 7 months later, they lost the funding. So, at the time the company lost the funding, your brother had been working there for 7 months? Correct. We know that it seemed like such a short period of time for some people. But my brother had been dreaming about this amazing job opportunity for years. Yeah, I understand that. And now, it's time for you to practice on your own. Make sentences using the words in brackets. A. I had to cancel my trip due to to plan this trip for months. B. Mike didn't hear Lucy when she asked for help in the kitchen. He to listen to music in his room. C. I was extremely tired when I got home. I to work hard all day. D. When I entered the room, Kate turned off the TV. She to watch a soap opera. And now, put the verbs into the past perfect I had done or the past perfect continuous I had been doing form. A. We were good friends. We to know each other for nearly a decade. B. I was annoyed because my friends were late and I to wait for an hour. C. Pupils were sitting on the ground. They were out of breath. They to run. And now, read the situations and complete the sentences. A. We played beach volleyball yesterday. Half an hour after we began playing, it started to rain. We for half an hour when it started to rain. B. My aunt got a job at the supermarket. 2 years later, it closed down. At the time the supermarket closed down, my aunt there for 2 years. C. The band started playing and after about 15 minutes the singer showed up. At the time the singer showed up, the band for about 15 minutes. And now, let's check your answers. I had to cancel my trip due to work. I'd been planning this trip for months. Mike didn't hear Lucy when she asked for help in the kitchen. He'd been listening to music in his room. I was extremely tired when I got home. I'd been working all day. When I entered the room, Kate turned off the TV. She'd been watching a soap opera. We were good friends. We hadn't known each other for nearly a decade. I was annoyed because my friends were late and I'd been waiting for an hour. Pupils were sitting on the ground. They were out of breath. They'd been running. We had been playing for half an hour when it started to rain. At the time the supermarket closed down, my aunt had been working there for 2 years. At the time the singer showed up, the band had been playing for about 15 minutes. Thank you for watching this tutorial.